Hello and welcome back to iGageit. This is an episode where we're just going to be looking at the prices of the new MacBook Pro. So you probably saw there are new MacBook Pros, 16-inch and 14-inch. So let's just get right into it. So we've got the supercharged for Pro. So I'm going to pretend to order. I'm not going to order one at this time. I'm just going to look at them. So first of all, we've got the M1 Pro chip. And we also have the M1 Max chip, and I believe that's on the 16-inch. There we go, an M1 Max chip on the 16-inch. So just looking, if I wanted to buy a maxed out M1 14-inch, so let's just go with the top core M1 Pro. Seems to be a 10-core. You can only get up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. You can go up to 2 terabytes for $400, an additional $600 for 4 terabytes, and then an additional $1,200 for 8 terabytes of storage. Don't know why you need that much storage inside a computer. If you're a video editor, I assume you have a NAS or some backup storage, but hey, if you want to risk it all, in one device, you can do that. And that's about it. And so as you see, your total is a little over $5,000. So if we go back to upgrading to the highest end, so that will be going up to an M1 Max with 10-core, 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine. You can now go up to a 64 gigabytes of memory, which is really good. If you go up to 8 terabytes, that puts you nearly $6,000. So you could get yourself a $6,000 14-inch MacBook Pro. Let's see the cheapest that you can go. The cheapest MacBook Pro, I believe, is $2,000, $2,500. No, we can go cheaper than that. Yeah, so you can get the 8-core. So if we select the 8-core and you stay with all the basics, 16 gigabytes, 512, and you get a 67-watt charger if you don't pay an extra $20. I don't know why Apple is even doing that, but you can get yourself the new 14-inch MacBook Pro for $2,000, which is actually pretty good. My recommendation would be to upgrade a few things. This is basically if you just want a bigger 13-inch MacBook Pro. As you see, like you do start out with 16 gigs of RAM, which is fine for, web browsing and video watching. You could do video editing on it, but if you're serious about video editing, then I would step up the game a bit. If budget is a big thing, then yeah, it will definitely work. It's hard justifying $400 for RAM, but remember, you cannot update these machines. So what you should probably do is, have a budget, and let's say it's $2,000, and stick to that budget. If your budget is $3,000, then you can upgrade to a 10-core M1 Pro, and probably upgrade the RAM, and upgrade your storage. I would definitely upgrade your storage. 512 gigabytes of SSD storage is not a lot for videos, or a lot of stuff. Like even a terabyte is like hard to swallow. I would say 2 terabytes, which puts you at $31 or almost $3,200. You're $1 off. If budget is that, I would just take off the cores. Put you at $299. That puts you right at $3,000. So yeah, you could go anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 on a 14-inch MacBook Pro. If we go to the big boy, the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the biggest MacBook Pro you can get, let's select the 10-core. So here is a 10-core CPU, 32-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine. If you go up to 64 gigabytes of memory, 8 terabytes of storage, and don't get Final Cut or Logic, you're looking at $6,099. So $6,100 is what you're looking at. The cheapest 16-inch MacBook Pro you can get is the M1 Pro chip, and that is a 10-core. 2,500 is what you're looking at. So the difference between a 16-inch and a 15-inch or 14-inch is $500 when it comes to that. And as you saw, the big size was just a little bit over, like $100 maybe. So for me, being a video editor, what I would get is, since I like editing in Final Cut Pro, and since it's going to be more editing, and the Max chip on the 16-inch gives me great battery life, I would get debating on 64 or 32, but since I want to keep this machine for a while, I'll probably go up to 64 and then go at least 2 terabytes. So if I could justify the extra amount of money, I would get the 4 terabytes just to be on the safe side. Right now, my iMac has 3 terabytes. I have not maxed that out yet, but it's around that 2 terabyte range. So if I had all my storage on a MacBook Pro, I would be pretty full. So 4 terabytes might be safer, which puts me about $4,900, which is a lot. So yeah, it's a lot, but most people buy a Windows computer could get this cheaper, but you're not getting the performance. And if you do, the Windows computers seem to degrade quicker over time. You know, what was new today is not new tomorrow. I still have a 2012 MacBook Pro that is still working fine. I just didn't like how chunky it was, and it weighed over 5 pounds. The 16-inch MacBook Pro is almost 5 pounds, but it's got the power, and it's great. No more touch bar. Let's just view the gallery. So yeah, no more touch bar. It's got a new keyboard and still has a fingerprint reader. The screen does have a notch on it, which does not have Face ID. That is a little sad, but not really. I don't know. I'm torn. I think if the notch was there, I would have liked Face ID, and for the price, just adding that would have been really cool. So for ports, we've got the MagSafe is back. Good old MagSafe. So if you trip over the cable, instead of yanking your computer with it, it will just pop out, and it's magnetic and great. And then we got 3 USB-C Thunderbolt ports, which is great. So the only thing you don't get is USB-A, so you'll still need adapters for if you have a normal USB. But as of right now, just about everything now has USB-C. So I would start buying USB-C flash drives, or the ones that have USB-C on one end and USB-A on the other, just so it can work on both. So just stop buying those cheapo USB-A, unless you have an adapter and you just want to use the dongles. This computer also has the SD card slot. So if you film with a camera and it uses an SD card, this is great. GoPros still use micro SD, so just use an adapter and get that in there. And then they have a high codec headphone jack, which is also pretty good. So if you have high-end plug-in headphones, then this is for you. Sad to see that the iPhone does not have a headphone jack, and not even the iPad Pro has a headphone jack. So it's good to see it on the Mac, but it's sad that other devices, which it makes sense, just use an adapter or use Bluetooth. I use AirPods, and every headphone I use is Bluetooth. So I think that's just about it for the Mac. There is no glowing logo on the back of any of the Macs, which is sad. And what I like about this version of Mac lineup is the 14-inch and the 16-inch are exactly the same except size. So there's no, huge difference. So you can get, 8 terabytes of storage inside your 14-inch or in your 16-inch. So overall, that's what it would cost you to get the new Macs. Hopefully that helped, and I will see you in the next video.